Let's talk about the rewrite first of all.
Well, I think the problem with the rewrite is that it's not as solidly funny or as consistent as it needs to be. I think it's much better than Did You Hear About the Morgans? And there's a germ of an idea that works quite well.
That was the movie he was promoting, by the way, when he got into trouble with Jon Stewart.
Oh, was it?
And they played the clip, and he didn't like the clip.
Oh, fine, okay. Well, because that's similarly, writer director Mark Lawrence. I didn't know that was the case of the movie. So you're more up on this stuff than I am. I mean, the fact is, he knows he's happy to play a sort of sleazeball character, because the fact of the matter is that what happens is this writer character turns up in Binghamton. The first thing he does is starts bedding, students with father issues. And there are people on campus like Alison Janney's character, Alison Janney, I beg your pardon, who plays...
CJ from the West Wing, that's
right.
What she is.
But who plays what's described, rather unfortunately, in the press notes as a humorless Jane Austen scholar. The fact is, there is no such thing as a humorless Jane Austen. If you like Jane Austen, you are not humorless. And there's a gag then later on when Hugh Grant's screenwriter character says to her, my favourite Jane Austen movie is Clueless. And she doesn't know what it's about. But that sort of stuff rings untrue, because the fact is, if you're a Jane Austen scholar, you would know about Clueless, and you wouldn't be humorless either. So I think that's a kind of I think it's a role that Alison Janney is landed with. It's a rather unfortunate role. I think at the beginning, Hugh Grant doing that, screenwriter out of his depth, being a bit of a sleazeball, being somebody who's become basically sort of misanthropic and essentially misogynistic, is played rather well. The movie, however, then loses its confidence and decides that actually what it needs to be is more schmaltzy. It is the Marissa Tomei character who believes that people can change and that and that life can be positive, and that actually there can be a second chance. And that's then what the film becomes about. As far as I'm concerned, at that point it becomes much less interesting, because it becomes much more about redemption and
Did you want him to carry on being schlubby?
I thought that it was funnier when he was nasty and misanthropic, and I thought that one of the problems that the film had is that it didn't know how to deal with him being nasty and misanthropic, so consequently it starts to change him pretty rapidly into something other than that. And I did laugh a few times, particularly at the beginning. I think there are some, and he knows, heaven knows Hugh Grant knows how to deliver a line. I wish the writing was sharper. I wish that the film didn't feel the need to be quite as sort of in the end, sort of full of bonhomie as perhaps it does. And I think there is also an essential problem, which is the Alison Janney character is absolutely right. You should be run off campus. Thank you very much. But it's that standard thing about you set up a character who is, wizened and wrong, and then the movie kind of has to get you to like them. And in fact, what you really want to do is to see that character carry on being and follow that through. So it's not bad, it's not good enough. It's better than Did You Hear About the Morgans? Definitely. I think that Hugh Grant is a very funny comic actor with range, and I wish that he was working with a better script, frankly. Although it was interesting that he was saying that actually, he's very hands-on, and the movie is very much, something that he produced himself. Certainly in the screening that I saw, there were laughs. Not enough laughs, but there were laughs.